boxes, and the point of the boxes was so that you could visualize what we are doing. So just for the record, let's just imagine this again. Forget this 90 was here. And if we started off with something very simple, and you wanted to make it into a perfect square, what would the dimensions have to be? You'd have an x and an x. And are you taping? Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. All right, so I know that at this point I'm going to have an x and an x, and what is going to happen with this negative 10? I'm going to divide it by 2, so what will be over here?
5.
A negative 5, because it's a negative 10, and this is also going to be a negative 5, and then what will be in this corner? What? 5?
25.
A positive 25. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And so if I said to you, well, how could we write this? Wouldn't that be x minus 5 squared? X minus 5 times x minus 5? Wouldn't that give me the whole shooting match on this side? Okay, so everybody has that visual image of what we're doing. Okay. So in this particular case, this one was a minus 90. So what do we want to try to do?
Add it to the other side.
Okay, we're going to move it over. So I have f of x plus 90 is equal to, now what am I going to do to this? I'm splitting it in half, and it happens in this case to be negative 5. So I have x minus 5 squared. Okay, do I need to add anything here, or is it already added in there when by squaring it? It's already added in there, so I don't have to add it. But I need to remember that if I were multiplying it out, I have to add in, remember that little corner, which was 25? So I have to add it in on this side. So I have f of x plus 90 plus 25 is equal to x minus 5 squared. What do I have here? F of x, sorry, 90, plus what, 115? And so then let me just get this over.
Okay, but I have a question about the second part of that.
What?
I'm not quite sure why you added the 25 to the other side. Like, I understand that negative 5 squared is 25, but I don't really get it.
Because there isn't a 25 here. We're forcing this to become a square. And so we said we were cutting this up and making this an x minus 5, x minus 5. And when we multiplied this out, that 25 became in the box. That's not what this says.
Oh, why do you add it to that side?
Because whenever I have an equation, and if I have 10 is equal to 10, and I decide, for whatever reason, to add 5 on that side, I've got to add it to the other side to maintain that balance.
Okay. Like, I get that you add it to both sides, but I feel, never mind. I just like the negative 5 squared. I don't really see a 25 on that side because x minus 5 squared does not equal 25.
Does it?
X minus 5 squared.
Oh.
It's x.
It's x times x is x squared.
So why wouldn't you add an x squared plus 25 to
okay, x times a minus 5 is a minus 5x. A negative 5 times x is a negative 5x. And now, negative 5 times negative 5.
It's 25, but why don't, if you're adding the same thing to both sides, why wouldn't you add x squared plus 25 to that side?
Because that's already on that side.
Okay.
It's there on that side. Anybody understand her question or can answer it better than I? Because if you have a better explanation.
Put 25 on one side, you gotta put on the other side too.
I know
She understands that. this is the problem. Okay, the problem is right now, I don't have a square number, Emily. Why do we want a square number? Because we want to be able to write it in HK form. And
What
that's,
is HK form?
Is HK?
oh, I don't want to, don't tell me you don't know what HK form is. Laura, can you explain what HK form means? It's just telling you where something is. It's a way of visualizing where something is on the coordinate graph.
If something's in HK form, it has to be in this, like, whatever, like, perfect square.
What happens is we have quadratics that, if they are in HK form, it's very easy to identify where the vertex is. Okay, and that's why we're writing them in HK form. And so by writing it in this part, I have the H part of the equation, but I don't know where it is, where the K is. And I'm forcing it into an HK form. I'm just rewriting it. Can you write an equation of a line in slope-intercept form or in point-slope?
Yes.
Yeah, you can write equations in different forms, and that's all we're doing. We haven't changed their value. They're still the same graph, and if we were to graph this, and then we will graph this when we're finished, will we have the same graph, or did we move it around? It's the same graph. We've just changed the form. Okay? Just like we could do slope-intercept, or we could do point-slope. There's the same, they're graphing the same data, only it looks different. Eli?
So could you write it as f of x plus 90 equals x squared plus 25 if you wanted to? So it's like less confusing.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Could you write it as f of x plus 90 equals x squared plus 25?
X squared plus 25. That's not an HK form.
I know, but when you subtract the 25, it's the same thing anyway. It's easier. Or you add 25.
This, what does that tell you? What does that tell you?
It's the same thing as that one, isn't it?
No, it's not.
It's the position on the y-axis.
That's right. So now you have this all the way up at the vertex. Is that going to be your x or your y? Okay.
Eli, I think you need to go to math.
Yeah.
I agree.
Sort out your
Okay.
problem.
No. All right. So at this point, okay, if you need, those of you, let me have a show of hands. How many people are following what I'm doing in terms of completing the square?
I understand what you're doing, I just don't understand what the point of HK form is.
Okay,
I know I
last
always ask
time,
questions and it's
last
annoying,
time,
but-
we've done it with absolute value, Emily, and now we're doing it with quadratics. It's to know where it is. I should be able to look at a graph and understand where the vertex is. That's all it is.
Wait, is H is X and K is Y?
H is the horizontal, that's your x-axis, and K represents your y-axis. So it's just telling you where the vertex is. Okay, so I'm going to teach this for the benefit of those who are understanding it and are ready to roll. And those who don't, I would suggest that you watch the preceding videos. They're all posted. You go home, you watch the videos, you watch them maybe twice, and then if you still have questions, then you come and see me. And I think that that's fair. I've taught the lesson, I've posted the lesson, you watch it if you didn't get it the first time, and then if after that you've done your bit, then you come and ask me questions and I'm happy to explain it further.